J Electronica presents the worst album rollout in history.
We're going to talk about J Electronica, man. So J Electronica had a busy weekend dropping new music. According to him, he delivered 19 albums to Jay-Z. And this weekend, he released 3. A written testimony, Leaflets, is 1. A written testimony, Mars, the Inhabited Planet, is 2. And then there was an EP, a written testimony, Power at the Rate of My Dreams. And all of those 3 came out this weekend, as well as Act 2 got released on DSPs. That was the album that J Elect recorded around 2010, 2011, 2012. It was released in 2020 officially, but so this is kind of a re-release. You know, it's stuff that we had all heard, that the music that had been around on the blogs and the internet or whatever. So Leaflets, and they're all kind of short albums, right? Leaflets has 7 tracks. Just important to note, 7 is a divine number in Islam. It represents perfection and completion. Mars, the Inhabited Planet, has 8 tracks, and then Power at the Rate of My Dream has 5 tracks and is technically in the EP category on Spotify and the DSPs. So there was a world where instead of getting 3 projects, Jay could have condensed this into 1 project, but they were split up, and knowing J Electronica, there's intention there. I don't know it yet. I'll preface this video with saying I haven't kind of figured it out. Like, part of the dope part about being a fan of J Electronica is kind of figuring it out, the Easter eggs, letting things soak in, letting things hit you.
What up? Where's your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashapp to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Listen, I did an album review for J Electronica, a written testimony, 5 years ago. I did it on my CLBMG channel where I used to do album reviews. I since have stopped doing album reviews because they are super time consuming, whereas I don't do reactions. I like to do a deep dive into each song, naming producers, spitting lyrics, this, that, and the third. So they would trust me when I tell you, when you listen to an album 5 times and you're writing down notes and you're trying to get album credits correct, and then you're recording a 45-minute video, it can take you some time. So I moved away from the album reviews. But one of my most memorable album reviews to me was the J Electronica one, because I said a lot of things in there. A lot of people agreed who ended up watching that video. It's a time warp. I'm just going to be honest. It's a time warp video. But I said quite a few things in that video. And one of the things was J Electronica's work ethic is a problem. And I also said that Jay-Z pretty much had to fill out that album because J Electronica wasn't really engulfed in rapping anymore. I feel like J Electronica has a moderate desire to rap. I think he has an affection for rap, and he can rap. But I think Jay-Z carried that album. I think without Jay-Z, the album would have been extremely lackluster. And I think Jay-Z pretty much out-rapped him on the entire album. Now, a lot of people, I'm going to say a lot of people, but some people bucked back at me and they were like, yo, J.E. held his own, da-da-da. But for the most part, the consensus is that Jay became Hove on that album, and he kind of like held that album down. Now, I say all that to say this. J Electronica is a masterclass MC, but I don't feel like you can be a masterclass MC if your work ethic is not that of a master. Now, you may say, Charles, how can you say that? Jay-Z don't put out albums all the time and da-da-da-da. But Jay-Z has a lifetime of material over the same amount of years that J Electronica has been promising us music. So I feel like what I'm witnessing, and this album rollout, so I don't know if any of you know, I'm going to get into what J Electronica just did. He dropped quite a few old and new releases, and I want to get into that. But I saw it pop up on my feed. I was like, I saw it on my YouTube, popped up. I was like, that's old. Okay, all right. Then I started seeing things pop up, and then I started seeing that people were saying, oh, some of this stuff is new. J.E. just dropped, da-da-da. Nowhere near the amount of concern or buzz or virality. Like, there was no outcry for this music, and I believe that I'm looking at the way this was handled, and I know we like to give J Electronica a lot of grace. I know we like to say, oh, he's mysterious and he does things on his own time. At some point, though, you're a hip hop artist, right? At some point, you have a fan base that's been waiting for you since the blog days, back when freaking I Love College was out, like back in the days, gang. Like you have fans that have been waiting on you since all hip hop was smoking hot. You have fans that was talking about in those chat rooms and those message boards, J Electronica, JE this, JE that, Exhibit C and all this. And at some point, it starts to look like the work ethic is not there. It looks like J Electronica is happy being I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but it is, I don't even want to say, let's just be honest, not even a D-list rapper. Like I said, most of us hip hop heads, we're going to revere J Electronica, but it's like when Cannabis read that battle rap off that paper, something changed. Okay? When Cannabis was in that battle and he pulled out a sheet of paper or a notebook or whatever, he read his rap, everything changed. And from that moment on, we didn't respect Cannabis the way we used to, okay? Now, when I'm looking at J Electronica from the whole big picture, and we're going to have a conversation, I'm going to be here for a while, so it is what it is. If you can rock with me, hang in there, you know what I'm saying? But if not, I understand. But J Electronica was unlimited potential. And I'm going to bring up Cannabis again. When Cannabis first came out and he had those features on those, that Lost Boys feature, and he had the other feature on the Clue tape. I don't remember what the song was, but Cannabis for a while, he was killing the game in such a way. I'll never forget, the Source crowned him the next king of rap. He never even dropped an album. Cannabis was untapped potential at his greatest, highest peak until he wasn't, until he got with Wyclef and dropped a very subpar album, and it did not age well for you people that's going to get in my comments and say, well, it wasn't that bad. You guys slept on Cannabis. No, Cannabis' first album was that bad. It was all over the place. It was awful for Wyclef to try to produce it, and it showed. He picked the wrong camp, and it didn't work out. He was with Desert Storm, but for some reason, Wyclef got his hands on it, and for a time, it was bad. And so, at that moment, all of that untapped potential went out the window. Cannabis has dropped quite a few albums. I don't know if you guys know that, but they never get the respect. They never get the publicity that they deserve. I even think he was on that Horseman thing. We waited years for that 4 Horsemen project, and that was a good record, but at the same time, still, the underground and the people who should have been tapped in just weren't, because at that point, we had already kind of moved on from Cannabis. Let's just be honest. And J Electronica is right there. And what I'm saying is, I've watched J Electronica kind of stumble through this hip-hop thing with all this. He has like a big giant backpack of respect. And he carries it year after year. And we're always like, oh, don't, just wait, Jay. Like, after some point, though, we don't even want to care what's in the backpack. At some point, that big-ass military book bag of raps that you got on your back, he claims he gave Jay-Z's 19 albums. Well, we only heard 2. We only heard 2 up until that point. And I personally, I'm just going to be honest, this 19 albums thing, I don't know about that line, okay? I gave Jay-Z 19 albums. I don't know how accurate that is, and I don't know. Let's just be honest, based on the track record of Jay's old material, a lot of that stuff was unmixed, unready to be released. They released that album and they had to recall it, right? Remember, it was one of the samples weren't clear. They dropped the whole thing because it leaked. They had to pull it back because a sample wasn't cleared. So it's like a whole bunch of just miscellaneous, funny, unprofessional, just moves of like an artist that's in his basement, just looping old samples and rapping on it, and just, that's my music. Like, okay, we get it. In the 90s, that was great. And when J.E. first came out and you would get this random mixtape with just him flowing over some random sample, that's great. That's dope. As we start to get more professional in this business, and as we start to get we start to separate the elite, and don't get it twisted, J.E. wants to be in that elite conversation. Well, we can't put you in an elite conversation when you handing in a bunch of demos and unfinished work, and then you got Jay-Z carrying you on your own album. I don't know if we can put you in the elite conversation. And let's be honest, I don't know. Jay might watch this, he may not. This is not disrespectful. This is a real conversation to a real guy. I think Jay spends a lot of time sowing the fruits of his labor, and just I know he got a lot of hookups and he got a lot of things going on where he don't really have to do this music thing. All right, let's just say that. He don't have to do the music thing. Somewhere, somehow, he's able to feed himself and carry on with his business. Because if it was for music, then Jay Electronica would be out here with a sign talking about we'll rap for food. Because let's be honest, he haven't done nothing really in this business except for one-offs here and there. So, in my opinion, for Jay to drop all this stuff randomly with no, and you're gonna say, well, Charles, people drop surprise albums. Yeah, people that got a buzz. Right? People that got something that the people want to hear. At this point, I think that fire, that pilot light, when you turn on this gas stove and the pilot light kicks in and the flame comes up, and you can turn it as high as you want. I think Jay Electronica flame been off. People do not care. So at this point, I get it that he's moving mysterious. He does things on his own time, and he's not doing things for the industry. We get all that, but at the same time, you're doing this for your legacy. You're doing this for your fan base. And to just drop all this stuff on them, and then you're like, I got more. I'm going to drop all these albums, da-da-da. I don't think this is the right way to do it for people that want to hear. Now you want to ask us to digest the old shit, then drop 3 joints, and you want us to digest those, and then digest all this shit you're just going to drop. I think it's a disservice to hip-hop itself to drop all this shit on people. How you going to digest all this shit, right? It's like Currency. Currency drops all these albums. Who can digest all this shit? I know there's some I know some real Currency fans out there that like everything he drop. I get all that, blah, blah, blah. But at some point, when you just start dropping random shit that, and let's be honest, most of this Jay Electronica stuff is going to be old material. A lot of stuff, if he's saying he dropped 19 albums, then that's a lot of years of work. I know you ain't make 19 albums in one crazy ass weekend. So it's a lot of old shit. So you're wanting people to digest, and no, I haven't listened to this stuff yet. This is the irony of this. I didn't make this video to talk about the content. I didn't make this video to talk about the lyrical breakdown. I didn't listen to none of it yet. Because I'm kind of like flabbergasted that a guy with this much potential that is on Rocnation, this dude's out here to give they left nutsack to be on that label. And he's been on that label for years. He's been on that label since Tidal was popping. When Jay-Z had Tidal, Jay-Z has since sold Tidal and moved on to some other shit. Jay Electronica has a blank check to just sit back and do what he wants to do and when he's ready. Jay Electronica got the same blank check that Memphis Bleak got to just sit back, right? What Jay say? As long as I'm a millionaire, Bleak ain't got to work a day in his life, all this shit, whatever he said. It's the same thing for what he has a kinship with Jay Electronica. I guarantee you Jay Electronica don't have to work another day in his life, and Jay-Z going to look out for him. It just feel like they got that connection, which is fine if you're working and earning that back. I don't feel like he is. I'm just sorry. And I'm sure if he watches this, listen, it's no disrespect. But at the end of the day, somebody got to say, I'm going to be a buck with you, because it feel like all of the YouTubers I've watched and all of the people who review this stuff, they put almost no, they give carte blanche. They give Jay Electronica the most grace you will ever see in hip-hop. They used to say Kendrick took too long to make his albums. They used to say Kendrick, remember the time between Damn and Mr. Morale was a crime in hip-hop. Remember that? They used to make it like, this guy's a turtle. He used to get a lot of flack for that, and they still say it. They're like, he ain't outside. Oh, now he's outside. Da, da, da. All this talk. Jay Electronica has gotten 15 years more than that. And he's allowed to duck in a hole, 7 years, pop up in a picture on the beach with some females and da-da-da, and just do whatever and come back again years later. And at some point, I get it that this isn't what he does for a living, for a livelihood. But for one, you can't expect to be in that elite conversation then. Because even Nas had to change the way he did business, because Nas would take forever. Now Nas is cranking out solid classic releases, in my opinion. 6 dope records back-to-back in a span of 3 years, I'm going to say. So Nas is working. Nas earned that elite status. I don't think Jay can be in anybody's elite conversation. He takes too long to put out music, and then he drops it all out of nowhere for no reason, and it still says under license to Rocnation. So you're signed. So why are they letting you drop all this random stuff on your own right now, but you gave Jay 19 albums? Sometimes it's tough love. Somebody got to say these things, gang. And I feel like Jay Electronica, he doesn't really love this hip hop music like he says he does. He's a smart guy, he's an orator, but I feel like Jay has found a way to survive and to flourish. And I'm gonna keep it respectful, but I feel like he has a way of getting people to take care of him. I'm just gonna be honest. And I mean that respectfully. I feel like he's learned how to move, how to shift, and how to go under the radar without having to work. This is just what it looked like to me from an outside. He could be in the studio every day, and Jay could be blocking him. I know a lot of you love that narrative that Jay-Z holding back Jay Electronica. Jay-Z won't drop him. It's his fault. Da 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 da. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Jay-Z's the same person that signed Ghostface back to Def Jam when Def Jam was when he got to be the president of Def Jam. Ghostface was not looking good. Jay-Z signed him carte blanche, like, listen, you're never leaving here. He signed him and the Roots, said, you always got a record deal. Then he left Def Jam. So Jay-Z's the guy that looks out for these little guys, the underground guys that's struggling to keep a deal. Let's just be honest. Ghostface, for after Shay La Ghost and a couple of other joints, like, listen, only us heads was looking at Ghost like that, right? So Jay be doing little deals for guys to keep them in business. And he doesn't try to make A&R their shit. The only person we know of him even saying you need a hit record was J. Cole, and he was right. The only person that he held him back was like, yo, you're not looking for no hit record from no Jay Electronica. You're not gonna hold his album back for waiting on a hit record. So I think that if Jay Electronica hands over 13 track album, 7 track, whatever he hands him, I think he's gonna say, all right, set it up, line it up, put it out. I don't think he's gonna be like, B, you better than this. I don't think he's gonna do, unless it's really bad mixing or whatever. Cause they put out the album that was really bad mixed. So I don't see it, gang. I don't see Jay holding him back the way they want to make it, but he claims he had 19 albums. I want to have this conversation because to me, an album rollout the way it's supposed to be, and this is let me see how old Jay Electronica is. Because at this point, Jay Electronica was born in 1976, right? Is that 50? Am I bugging out? Does that make Jay Electronica 50 years old? September 19th, 1976? My math don't always be mathing, but that low-key, that sounds like 50 years old. Am I bugging out? Something very close, right? So at the end of the day, we're talking a 50-year-old guy, which at this point, let's just call it what it is. He's one of us, an old head. And I always say all the time, my old heads don't know how to do this music. They haven't translated. They haven't moved into this sector yet. The only old head, I'm not going to say the only old heads, but the people I'm going to tell you that old head that can wear that badge is the Clips, excellent rollout. And Redman, excellent rollout. And see, Redman rollout was longer than the Clips because he's still rolling it out. It's September. Redman is still rolling out Muddy Waters too. He's never stopped. He realized I got to keep pushing this thing, making new videos. He's never stopped rolling out Muddy Waters too. Great album, by the way. But we're talking about a 20, how many years? So I'm going to read this, but we're talking about albums and music that's from 05 is just getting released officially. Like, it is insane where you're just releasing it again because the shit says, let's just be honest, it says 2025 on these old albums that he put out. So when you go look at them, they're saying that they just got released right now, even though they're old as hell. So this is a terrible rollout. You dropped it randomly, out of nowhere. A few people are talking about it for the most part. Even diehard fans are kind of like, okay, they don't know what's new. And they ain't really talking about it like that, like they should be. This is J.E. He finally dropped what you've been asking for. But I think he took too long. The window is closed. The window is closed. And I think he's made crucial mistakes. And I think, let's be honest, if Jay was really holding him back like this, then I think we would have heard about, I need to get off this label. So I don't believe that we got a whole thing where he was held back and forced to just be irrelevant. I don't believe it. But I want to have this conversation. First, I want to talk about, before the 2 new projects and this, that, and the third, I want to talk about who we got that we're talking about. Salute, man, listen, this is not disrespect to J.E. and in the slightest, but I do need to call it out for what it is. It seems like a very bad work ethic from a guy who has genius level, God tier level of rhymes. And I think when it be time to step up to the plate, I think J.E. falls short because he takes too long in between time. But let me read this. I want to have this conversation. Hold on. El Padaro F. Electronica Allah, born Timothy Theedford, September 19th, 1976, known professionally as J Electronica. He's an American rapper and record producer, born and raised in New Orleans. First saw recognition with the release of his debut mixtape, Act 1, Eternal Sunshine. So that's not, he didn't release that one right now. That one is an old one, and I don't think he released that one yet. But let me continue. Act 1, Eternal Sunshine, The Pledge, was released in 2007, gang. Its success, along with his standalone single Exhibit C, led the American rapper Jay-Z to sign Electronica to his Rocnation label following a multi-label bidding war in 2010, gang. They had a bidding war for J Electronica in 2010. It is 25th. It is 2025. That was 15 years ago when there was a bidding war for an already up in age J Electronica. Let me continue. His debut solo album, A Written Testimony, released in 2020. Right now, listen to what I just told you. Listen to what I'm telling you, gang. We wouldn't allow this for anybody else, but we let J Electronica get away with this, and we just roll with it because it's mysterious, right? He had a bidding war in 2010. He did not release his album until 2020. A Written Testimony. And I believe that itself was still forced out. I believe that Jay forced that album out. So we waited 10 years for the first album to drop. Meanwhile, he's dropping verses and being all mysterious and this, that, and the third, and coming at Kendrick for the crown. Don't make me do this and that. But we didn't get an album for 10 years. We're still on this is Rollout is till infinity, gang. Let me continue. The album was met with critical acclaim and entered Billboard 200 at number 12. It was followed by a second album, Act 2, The Patents of Nobility, The Turn, in 2020. Now, that second one was the one, if I'm not mistaken, they had to pull it right off the shelf. It got leaked, and they had to pull it off the shelves in October of that same year. His guest performance on Kanye West's 2021 song, Jesus Lord, marked his first entry on the Billboard Hot 100. In 2007, J Electronica released his first mixtape, Act 1, Eternal Sunshine, via MySpace. It was downloaded over 50,000 times. That success in his catalog led to J Electronica joining the Rock the Bells tour in 2008. Gang, this shit is MySpace stuff. This is MySpace stuff. Let me continue. Later that year, producer Just Blaze and J Electronica selected songs for Guitar Center's Game project, Fresh Cuts Volume 3, and included a previously unnamed song, which Just Blaze named Exhibit A Transformations. Just Blaze would later debut at Exhibit C on Tony Touch's Sirius radio program, where it quickly caught on, making its way to terrestrial radio stations like New York's Hot 97 and spawning artist remix from MCs AZ, Nori, Saigon, Joel Ortiz, and other. The thing was hot. It was smoking hot, and J Electronica was the next one smoking. He was the next one coming up, and for a time it was good, gang. This was 2009. Listen, gang, that's 16 years ago. Let me continue. A bidding war ensued with Jay finally signing in 2010, November 12th, with Rocnation. So he's been on Rocnation for 15 years. With this little bit of work output, they gotta be friends, gang. You're not keeping an artist signed to you for 15 years and you're waiting for one album. You're friends. That's your man's. He brings good vibes and happy times when he comes around. Let me continue. Though fans and critics anticipated a full-length debut, Electronica's output in the subsequent decade consisted of several collaborations and non-album solo songs. On February 2020, Jay Electronica announced the completion of his album, A Written Testimony, which was recorded over a 40-day period. It was released on March 13, 2020. On October 5th, Jay Electronica released Act 2, The Patents of Nobility, his second album after the album had leaked online 2 days prior. Remember, he had that first one on March 2020. We all listened to it. We all had our comments. That was the one I reacted to on my channel. The second one, The Patents of Nobility, The Turn, someone released it. Someone leaked it. It's like when a leak comes out and everybody's hopping on because everybody was nothing like right now. When that leak came out, the internet went crazy. Yo, it was everywhere. Everyone had made a YouTube upload. It was everywhere. It was easy to find. I went and listened to it on YouTube. It was right there. Everybody, it was on all these different channels. So it had a very big buzz. They capitalized 2 days later, dropped it, but they had to pull it down. I had it saved. I had it saved. I listened to it, had it saved, went back to listen to it again. The shit was gone. It was gone. They deleted the album. Let me continue. But this is who we supposed to say is an elite MC with all this kind of nonsense going on. In August 2021, Jay Electronica guest featured on the song Jesus is Lord, released on Kanye West's album Donda. On September 17, 2025, Jay Electronica reissued his debut mixtape Act 1 Eternal Sunshine. So yes, he released it onto all social media, all streaming platforms last week, right? And that was quietly just dropped. No warning, da-da-da. Then, the following day, he released Act 2, The Patents of Nobility, to streaming services. On September 19th, he released his third solo album, A Written Testimony, Leafless. So I'm thinking that he released this stuff to lead up, because it's like I can't put this third act out without Act 1, Act 2. So I'm going to drop Act 1, Act 2, let everybody know that I got something coming or something going on, da-da-da. Now, the only problem with this is nobody cared at that point. Now, people was like, yo, Jay Elite, da-da. But why would you care about two albums you already heard dropping on random services? So it didn't strike the buzz that it should have. And I know he's not playing the industry game, this, that, and the third, but at the end of the day, this is still the music industry. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear what you got to say. You could do some interviews, this, that, and the third. Most of the time when we hear about Jay Electronica, it's because he's angry about something. Right? We don't hear him just his thoughts. We don't hear him talking about his music, da-da-da. It's that he's lashing out. Like right now, he's lashing out at Joe Budden, right? He's lashing out this guy, that guy. Whatever it is we only get a peek inside of Jay Electronica's thought process when he's lashing out. Lashed out at Kendrick, right? So it's like, we need more from you than just you're going to only pop your head out to just randomly throw music out and then disappear. But then if someone says something to make you upset, then you're lashing out. You're on 10. That's not what we expect from an elite artist. It's at the end of the day, it's still a music business. And we still want you to handle the business. And I don't think that this throwing these albums out just randomly, some people may love this. It's going to be hard for me to digest this stuff. I'm going to take my time with it. I'm going to get to it when I get to it. I'm not going crazy. It's mad other shit I'm listening to. I'm not dropping everything to listen to this. I'm just going to be honest. And you may say, Charles, what you make the video for? This video is not about the music. This is about how Jay Electronica is rolling this stuff out. And I think it's bad. I do. Let's just be honest. Rocnation is still a label trying to make money from this. So now they're going to put your music out. You're not going to push it. You're not going to promote it. Right? You're just going to drop it. You're going to drop, what, 19 albums? You're going to just drop them all, throw them all out? At what point are they going to make their investment back, their return back? They're not. But I think Jay don't care about the return, but he should and you should. Because at this point, you're playing for legacy right now. If no one cares about what you got going on, where's the legacy going to land? I don't even think I'm going to say some blasphemous shit. And I know you're going to say, Charles, MCing is about skill. No, I feel like it's a package when it comes to this shit. And I feel like Jay Electronica is falling short of the package. Even the alcoholics will have a better rollout than this. Most rappers will have a better rollout than this. Most rappers that we're going to say are elite rappers, they're going to take more pride in their music. I think that this is, he looked up one day eating breakfast or whatever, was like, you know what? Go get the thumb drive. I'm going to throw this shit out. I feel like that's disrespectful. I truly do. I feel like no one's helping him with these decisions. I don't even know if he's listening to people because this seems like a random, reckless act to just throw out these albums like this. So other people looking at it as it's very, this is unique. I like it. Yo, keep the music coming. I sometimes I get caught up thinking about business in the sense of like, we're supposed to be trying to do this a certain kind of way, especially the elder statesmen. And when we do shit and just throw it out half-assed, I have a problem with it. I don't like it. I feel like he got too many eyes on him. He has too many people that would have supported this had he came out and done it the right way. I'm just going to be honest. Jay Electronica is not strong enough to just randomly drop 2 albums to streaming services and fall back, not say nothing on his own, like not do nothing. I don't like how this is handled. I don't like it. I think this is an awful rollout. And I know some of you, you don't care about rollouts, this, that, and the third. Well, I do. I care about when you're supposed to be one of the elite, right? We saw Nas out there doing interviews when he was dropping that stuff. When he first came back, dropping King's D's and all that, Nas gonna do some interviews. He gonna get out there and get in front of the record and support it. We see it all the time. We saw LL out there. LL was everywhere. For God bless his heart, Will Smith was everywhere trying to promote that album. The Clips was everywhere. Elder statesmen don't have the luxury. You're 50 years old. You don't have the luxury to sit back and just drop it and just watch what happens. You don't have the luxury. I'm sorry. I know it's you're mysterious and this, that, and the third. I don't think you got the luxury to do that shit. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Let me continue, man. Jay Electronica reissued the debut mixtape. And I said all that. So on September 19th, he released his 3rd studio album, A Written Testimony, Leaflets, followed by an extended play titled A Written Testimony, Power at the Rate of My Dreams, and his 4th studio album, A Written Testimony, Mars, the Inhabited Planet, on September 21st. Now, let's just be honest. Why would I want to sift through all of that right now at the last minute? You could have made all of this on one thing. You didn't have to, right? You don't have to do nothing. But why would I want to sift through all that? I get it. I got to be a super fan. But even as a super fan, now I got to go out of one. Let me show. So Mars, the Inhabited Planet, is 8 tracks. Leaflets is 7 tracks. And Power at the Rate of My Dreams, which is an EP, is 5 tracks. So that's 3 different things I got to lock in and save and try to figure out the context of all 3 things. It's kind of, let's just be honest, that thing could have been done differently. And I'm not going to tell a man how to release the stuff, this, that, and the third. But what I'm saying is, I feel like it's spinning of wheels to make it look more regal than it really has to be. Right? You put out a 5-track EP when you just dropped 2 albums back to back. Listen, man, it just, to me, it's striking of like, kind of, it's just exhausting to me. And I don't want to go through 3 different albums trying to figure out what's going on. But that's just me, and it is what it is. I don't know, I don't know what to tell you, man. Let me just read a little bit more, and I'm going to get out of here. So basically, he's not 50, he's 49 for his 49th birthday. I'm sorry, I said it was 50. So he's right there on the bubble, right? And I feel like what we got was just scooped up a couple random records and decided to slap titles on them. I'm just going to be honest. And I feel like it doesn't inspire me to want to hear him. I'm going to hear him because I feel like for the culture, I do got to hear this. But it's not making me like, it's not getting me worked up to run out and play these albums. I'm just going to be honest. It kind of like makes me feel like if you don't take it serious, then why should I? That's just my critique. I'm not even going to get into the stuff what he said about Diddy, and because he like supports Diddy, this, that, and the third. And I don't know, man. He's coming at Candace Owens. I don't know, man. I'm done talking about this, man. Listen, Jay Electronica is the greatest hope that we never had, right? We never got what it was supposed to be. I feel like we just saw a guy kind of meander through a promising career. He had a bidding war, of all things, 15 years ago, and decides to deliver 15 years of music at the last minute on his 49th birthday. And it's just not, to me, it's not appealing to me. it's not making me like, I want to go break down all these lyrics. I'm gonna be listening to the lyrics like, why you take so long to say this shit? I'm just gonna be honest, man. It doesn't appeal. I feel like, man, we got artists out here really busting their ass to put out quality music year after year. I'm not even gonna name all the rappers that we got that's really working, bro. That's really, really working. And J.E. hides behind this veil of mystery, like, oh, you don't know what he's doing. You gotta figure out. And well, at some point, we don't want to figure it out. Either do it or don't. All right? That's it, man. That's my rant, man. I'm out of here, man. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Every Wednesday night, we go live. Me, TJ, and Fliz. We probably bring up J Electronica and talk about it. Jump in the chat. Let us know you're in the building. It's on all my social media platforms, all right? Tap in. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw a 6-pass easily. 6-man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. And then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking. And all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like past fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here and we ain't the cheese, we the trap.